So today we're going to do something radically new, which is actually talking about something important, which I know I said I would do on Friday, so I'm going to actually keep that promise. But basically that important thing is overachieving. I would consider myself to be an overachiever. I always have been, and I always will be. But there's a point when overachieving is unhealthy. There's a book called The Overachievers, Secret Lives of Driven Kids by Alexandra Robbins, and she's going to talk about exactly what I want to talk about in this video. Overachieving to an unhealthy level. I might categorize myself as having done so, particularly in high school. There's a lot of emphasis put on kids nowadays to get into the right college, to know what you're majoring in before you're even accepting a school's invitation that it's ridiculous. There's so much pressure on kids now, and it's so unrealistic to believe that that's actually going to work. It's not even pressure put on by parents, it's pressure put on by the school system and other students. There's such a level of competition between students now that making straight A's and taking as many AP courses as you possibly can is not enough. Schools want to see that you're well-rounded, that you make amazing grades, but you can take all the AP courses at a school and still have the exact same GPA and still have the exact same extracurriculars as other students. And so you have to go above and beyond even that, and suddenly your life is completely consumed by getting into this college, and that's just not what life should be about. Alexandra Robbins talks about this all the time in her book. There are bunches of students who are on the track team, also in a bajillion APs, struggling to get by, they turn to drugs, they become depressed, yada yada, it just happens. And I can understand this because while my high school career was happy in many ways, I also think that I should have left room for more fun things and I would have had a better high school experience. This level of competition can result in the type of person that's not even healthy. Not to say that all are that way, because certainly people do it and it goes well and it's great. But an example, even though it's from fiction, pretty sure that there's a real life equivalent somewhere out there, is Paris from Gilmore Girls. If you haven't seen Gilmore Girls, go watch it. This is technically not an endorsement, but you should. Paris's life dream, along with Rory's, is to get into Harvard. So she works her entire high school career, her entire middle school career, you name it, elementary school, yada yada. I say that a lot, don't I? But she works for forever to get into school and she doesn't even end up getting into it. But it ended up being the right thing. However, she doesn't know that in the meantime. In the meantime, she's simply devastated. Rory, on the other hand, gets in, and Rory didn't work as hard as Paris. Yeah, Rory worked really hard, but she didn't throw her life away. She had a life. So I think that Rory's take was a bit more healthy than Paris. I think everyone knows that. But even a lot of kids can't handle Rory's level. I mean, she's named as valedictorian at her private school. We're not all Rory Gilmores, okay? I certainly wasn't a Rory Gilmore, but I studied like it. I took as many AP courses as I could, and I actually preferred those classes to college prep. They were more challenging, but the thing is they were also a lot of work, and I tended to overload myself. Nonetheless, I made it through, and I'm here today to speak about it. But not everyone is. And that's kind of the point. Depression is rampant these days, and despite whatever reason you think causes it, stress from school is a major reason. It makes me sad to see people going through that when it's not necessary. But on the other hand, I am who I am because I was who I was, if that makes sense. You know, if I hadn't been that way in high school, would I still be the person I am today? Who knows? I wasn't as intense in my competition in school as, for example, the people from the Overachievers, which are, in fact, real-life people, by the way. I'm not just, picking a fictional experience like I did with Gilmore Girls. This is, actually real life. Anyway, I know that got really deep really fast, but it's a really important topic to me, and I don't think that enough people really emphasize how much you can still be a kid when you're a kid. And I don't think this necessarily has to do with becoming an adult faster or, being more mature. You can be responsible and mature without making your life school. You can be responsible and mature in other areas of your life. You can become a well-rounded person. And I think it's really important that people actually do that. To an extent, I've always been that way myself. I call myself the jack of all trades and master of none. Maybe I shouldn't, but I have so many random interests. I'll just start blabbing on about something, and someone will be like, I didn't even know that you were interested in this. Like, what? And what I did there was I applied the same drive I had for school, but I just dispersed it into different areas. And while I have a year left in school, I still try, obviously. School is very important. Do not get the message, school is not important, kids. It is, but it's not everything. So maybe a little bit lighter of a topic next time. I think what I'm going to try to do, I think I've figured something out, is I'm going to do a literature day and then I'm going to do a random day. So I'll be posting on Mondays and Fridays, and this is Mondays, so maybe today will be random, and Fridays will be literature. Who knows? But please like or subscribe if you like the video, and I would love to hear your comments down below. Thanks, cheers!